Welcome back, welcome back. I am your host, Marcus Flowers, aka Flo, aka Call Me What You Want. Just don't call me lazy. Now joined by,
Metro Meta, y'all know who it is.
and we are here to discuss the Xbox Gaming Showcase 20, the 2020 Xbox Game Showcase. And let's not bury the lead. Let's just jump right in. So Morgan, I'm gonna tell you what I was impressed by. Fable is returning. So after a
Yes.
long time, Playground Games announced a brand new Fable, and I didn't quite get this from the showcase, but will this game be an Xbox exclusive?
Yes, because they own that. They own that
Okay,
franchise.
that's what I figured. That's what I thought. How do you feel about Fable returning, and does that pique your interest any when it comes to the Xbox Series One or Series X?
As as far as this Xbox goes, Fable is pretty much the only franchise I'm interested in.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the only game that I'm excited for. But again, it's Xbox, so it's also going to be on PC, and I have two PCs,
Right.
so I'm probably just going to pick it up on Steam or whatever.
And it's free for Xbox members of their community, right?
Xbox Game Pass. All of their games
Are
come to
for
Xbox Game Pass.
right,
Well, you're paying for it. It's a subscription.
right. So let's just jump right in. So they kicked off their showcase with Halo Infinite, and I will say it's a lot like Halo games. Of course, like just my experience of past Halo games, it's always been great graphics, but the gameplay isn't really that good. So, but I really did enjoy the graphics. What about you?
For which one?
Halo Infinite.
So that did not impress me. That didn't impress.
Okay.
Like the graphics look good. Not gonna lie, it looked really good. But the combat looked
Yeah, the
like
combat play
watered
did
down Doom.
the
It looked like
combat.
watered down Doom.
Yes, and the combat didn't really look that difficult either. Like, of course, you can adjust your settings, but it didn't really. It didn't that Halo didn't really strike me as a game that's convincingly going to be good to play, especially in the open world setting. I just don't think Halo will be able to strive off of that.
Here's the thing: there's so many open world games that are done so well, especially open world shooters.
Right.
Halo going open world, I don't know if that's the best move for them. Just because I'm sitting there like, why wouldn't I play any other game?
Yeah, no, for sure. And it's just like Halo has just gone to this well. Like we've seen the Halo games, and I thought with this, with the new gaming generation, they would up the ante a little bit. But I was a little bit disappointed in how they brought it.
Yeah, it wasn't exactly something uh that piqued my interest. There were too many like CGI trailers and stuff like that. Honestly,
Right,
like we
really.
didn't see. They were criticized last time for not enough gameplay, and they just did the same thing.
Yeah, no, for
Like
sure.
no. As far as another standout to me was Obsidian's whole section I thought was interesting. They're working on a lot of projects. I thought their Grounded trailer was very funny. Um, it
I
was funny, but I wouldn't play it. But
so
I don't like those types of games.
did have you ever played the GTA series?
No, but I know it.
Okay, so
Obviously, everyone
the
knows
the
it.
GTA series has like this loading screen, and it's like different pictures of like areas in like Vice City or whatever game you're playing, and that is what Grounded looked like to me. It didn't look like something that's super intriguing, but it was just like, oh, this is a game, and it's kind of. I was more interested in Avowed. That looked way more.
Avowed did look good. From what I hear, it's supposed to be their like answer to Skyrim. But
Okay.
Skyrim's gonna be on the next generation. I don't know why they need an answer for Skyrim.
Right. Right. Um.
I How do you feel about like what do you want out of Avowed specifically?
I really enjoyed the gameplay. I think that is what separated it from me. I think that is what's going to be good for it.
The magic system looked interesting to me.
Yeah, no, I really did, and it kind of reminded me of Doctor Strange with the way with the way they had the spells wrapped around their arm, and then they had the weapon in their other hand. So that looked really good. Did you feel about Interior Night in there As Dusk Falls? Were you feeling that?
Which one was As Dusk Falls?
That's the one where it was like they were in.
Oh, that was the one where it looked like a slideshow for some reason?
Yes.
No. That looked just like a Telltale Games game, and
Right.
there were a lot of that in there. I thought we moved past that as an industry.
Yeah, I did too. That's why it was kind of shocking to me to see something like this. The biggest finesser of this whole Xbox gameplay was Ninja Theory, and Ninja Theory was basically just like, "Yo, our game's coming out. You can watch the behind the scenes scouting of the place we're basing the game on our YouTube. We're not going to show y'all here, but you can see it on our YouTube after this." And it's like, dang, so they just automatically assume that we're going to be paying them for this.
I mean, Ninja Theory is owned by Xbox. They were bought by them this year.
Right.
And we've known about Hellblade since last year. So they were, if they didn't have anything new to show, because I think that's a 2021 holiday game, because that game, to me, at least the way Ninja Theory is moving, they're trying to position themselves to be the next system seller for Xbox as a series. So they probably are trying to build more of a community so that they can get more massive launches.
No, for sure. So they started off with...
Did you, the game by Rare, the nature one that looked like a Pixar movie? How do you feel about that one? What was it called?
I have it written down. You said by Rare?
Yeah.
Dang, I don't see it. Oh.
It was the one with, it had the nature and the deer and the magical world.
Oh, that was Everworld by Rare.
Yeah.
That
looked interesting.
That looked interesting probably to you because that's more of the type of games you like to play. But just for me, it didn't really pique my interest that much. I thought it was stupid, and this is actually where Xbox started to lose my attention because they started off with Halo Infinite graphics, and then State of Decay 3, and then Forza Motorsport, and then they went to Everworld, and I was just like, okay, that is not that doesn't really pique my interest. You have lost me, not as a customer, but you've lost me as an interested viewer.
How do you feel about State of Decay? Because that is a mid-tier game.
So
just in general, but they did have a black person, which I liked.
I enjoy I enjoy what I saw from State of Decay 3, but I just thought we needed to see more than a 10-second trailer. Like there
were a lot of just trailers,
and it's just like, and it's kind of like the problem with Xbox is that they just show us the trailer and they don't really show us gameplay. And so that was my biggest issue with this thing. It was supposed to be like a state of play type of thing. When we didn't really get any state of plays, we got more trailers, and that's cool. But going into this next generation, you're going to be needing to be able to show people that, hey, this is why you need to buy this game.
Yeah, I don't know if this was the best showing, especially after, because PlayStation's last one, there were some people who said that it wasn't as good, but I thought we both said it was pretty good.
Yes.
And at least when I was watching PlayStation, I could pick out a couple of, I think maybe 3 or 4 games where I was like, oh, I'm definitely going to play those. With Xbox, it was Fable and maybe Obsidian's games, and that was it.
How did you feel about Crossfire?
That actually looked very interesting.
Okay.
Remedy Games, they are a bit bad sometimes. They don't always make the best games. But I believe they made Control was their last game, which was really good. And so this game looks very interesting just in a standpoint of when I was watching it, they kept talking about like destiny and fate in a sort of medieval sense where people know it exists and not like a modern sense where it's like, oh, this is what I believe.
Right.
And it just got me thinking about a game in which you had a military that had such an ideal, and I feel like they could really pull that off.
So
I also got
go
mad
ahead.
like stealth vibes.
So
I got mad stealth vibes, so like Splinter Cell.
I'm gonna tell you when I was going to throw my laptop at this precise moment, when it was a bunch of people playing on their controller, and it was like one block, one block, one block, and it was everybody going, and then it slowly turned into the Tetris board, and it was at that moment when I knew that I had wasted my time, because in a showcase of your next generation of games, you're showing me Tetris Effect, which I can already play a Tetris multiplayer game on my phone, and or I can play it on my Switch. But you're showing me this as if, hey, this is really what's gonna bring people. That was the moment when I was like, okay, I am fed up.
The problem with Tetris Effect is it's already out.
Right.
That's a game that's already out. That's on PlayStation. And it's best. And the problem with that, again, is Tetris Effect is a good game on all platforms, but most people who play that game say it's best in VR.
Right.
And Xbox doesn't have a VR.
Yeah. So it's severely lacking. And just for Microsoft to put that out the way they did, it's like, okay, we really just want your money. Like, we don't necessarily care about the content that we're putting into these games. Here's a game that's already out that you can already play, but it's going to look a little bit better in our system, so that's why you should pay for it for us.
Yeah, I don't know what they were thinking with this one. It wasn't a standout sell me next generation show.
Right.
It was, for me, it felt like one of their E3 shows where they put out a bunch of games, 2 or 3 of them look interesting, and the rest of them I'm like, oh, skip.
Right. So one game that I thought you might like. Well, how did you feel about New Genesis Phantasy Star Online 2?
So Phantasy Star is a legendary MMO, and to Xbox's credit, they were the first to get it to the West because it was at first only in Japan.
Right.
I never really wanted to play. I don't play multiplayer games, so it never really attracted me in that way. This new, I figure its expansion looks interesting, but from what I'm seeing about it online, there's a question of if that expansion is even coming to the West. So that wasn't something that showed any interest to me. But what I did find interesting was, to me, that was one of the standout moments in the whole thing, where there's like music playing and it looked really good. So to me, it was more of a showcase of what the showcase should have been, as opposed to all the gritty repeats of games that we probably played 10,000 different times.
Right. One aspect that I wanted to ask you about, how did you feel about when different studios presented, they would go to the location where the studios were?
I thought that was pretty fun to show off where they were.
Okay. So, my only issue with that was that a lot of them were in the same area.
Well, most
So, yeah.
most studios are in the same area.
And it was basically just like California, London, California, London. And I was like, okay, y'all are basically just playing ping pong back and forth. But
well, when you're talking Xbox, that's where most of their studios are.
Right. And I will ask you, do you think, because we only saw games from 9 developers out of the 15 that they have, do you think Xbox's acquisition of a lot of gaming studios, was it earlier this year or late last year when they bought a whole bunch?
They've been doing it for a while.
Do you think it's going to eventually pay off for them?
If they can get those studios to start making console selling games. The example I would think of is Obsidian when they came out, they made Grounded, which was bad. I don't know why they're releasing that. But they have their expansion for Outer Worlds, which people liked, and they have that new game. Those are the types, and they have, and Xbox has Hellblade. Those are the types of things that are going to sell that console, sell that Xbox ecosystem. That's what they need to get their studios in line into doing.
Right, for sure. So overall, what would you give this showcase? Out of 10, what would you give the showcase?
Let's give it a 5.
Okay, I would give it a 5 as well. If there was any game that you saw that really would push you, what would it have been?
Fable.
Okay.
I've been interested in Fable for quite some time, and so I'm excited for a new Fable. I would have liked gameplay or something.
Right. I would. I enjoyed Fable as well. That was the standout game to me. Do you have any last thoughts?
Nope.
One thing I will say, I was slightly disappointed in this Xbox showcase. I just felt that they would have brought it more, especially comparing it to PlayStation's last state of play. I definitely thought they would have upped the ante and said, "Hey, we're really here," and they didn't do that. They were very, I don't want to call them timid because they weren't timid, but they were very, here are some games you can play. We hope you like it. Like, they weren't very confident. It seems like they aren't very confident in the games that they have. They're trying to sell the system more. So
Yeah.
But that was our Xbox Game 2020 showcase. Make sure you are following the brand at 26 and Glencoe Media Network. Follow me on all social media platforms at Flow My Hero. Follow Meta on all social media platforms at MetroMeta26. And until next time, peace.
See ya.
All right, is Mom at home?
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Y'all know who it is, Metro Meta and
At One Marcus Flowers.
And we'd like to thank you for watching and listening to our content. We'd like to thank you even more if you leave a like, a comment,
Subscribe. Definitely subscribe. We need that. Subscribe. Subscription.
and don't forget to share with all your friends and tell us how you feel.
And tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend that you got it from 26 and Glencoe Media Network.
Keep it real.